In the last step of the dragon eye that we were doing, we were talking about complementary colors, how great it looks when you use colors that are opposite from one another on the color wheel. The iris will pop out from the scales if you use those opposite colors. Also, we used wax crayons to resist the watercolor. So we used white on the shine and black as an eyeliner. So here's an example of a dragon eye that is fully taking up the whole picture plane from edge to edge. I used opposite colors to make the iris pop out from the skin, and it has a round iris, kind of like an iguana, even though it looks kind of human right now. I'm going to show you how to enhance this art. So one trick that a lot of people don't learn until later on in their art career is using a color's opposite to create a shadow. So on orange, this would mean using that same blue that's in the iris to create a little shadow underneath. Another option, if you don't want to use the opposite color for a little shadow under each little scale pebble, is just to use a darker version or a color very close on the color scale. So for orange, you could use red. Red would be a good color for under the scales to sort of give each one a lumpy effect. You can also use that color down in the cracks. I'm careful not to really mix these colors too much. I'm just glazing the blue over the orange. And that way we can see those colors working independently with one another. Yet another way to add shadow is to have a light gray. A light gray, which is a little bit of white and a little bit of black mixed on your color palette. And I'm gonna kind of darken right where there would be a shadow under the eyelid and around the sides and bottom of the eyeball to make it look more round. You can also always enhance your iris. I'm gonna use a color very similar to my turquoise and use a dark blue around the outside of my iris. Usually there's a darker ring around the outside, and then you can pull the color in, let it sparkle however you imagine. Another option you have to enhance your art is to just add more pigment, either the same color or a very nearby color on your scales. I wanted to enhance my orange scales to look even brighter, so I went right next door to yellow. It's an orangish yellow. I'm gonna add that to the top of each of my scales. And there's a final way that you could enhance your dragon eye. I urge you not to go overboard at this point. You've done a lot of work to create a very believable dragon eye with lots of color. So if you're going to refine and add some glitter, you will need to be very understated about it. We don't want the glitter to take over your art. We want it to just enhance what you already have. So you would do no more than 1 or 2 small lines, or perhaps a few tiny sections where a piece of glitter or 2 will land. You will make sure that your art is on top of a mat.
Now on my mat, I can choose a color that's kind of relevant to the
sprinkle
scales.
A very small amount of glitter
Yet to be
onto your dragon eye. After you do that small amount, you'll be able to jiggle your paper back and forth to get coverage on your glue. You do not need to continue to sprinkle and sprinkle and sprinkle to glitter your eye. I'm doing a really gentle finger tap to get this glitter out.
Some on your glue. The glue does not have to be covered.
And then I'm going to shake it around. I'm going to take my art and mat to the garbage to get that glitter into the garbage. It's a little bit better to be in the landfill than down the drain. And so you don't want to paint on top of glitter with a brush. And I'm using glitter that is not eco-friendly. I think it's going to be better on our paper than thrown away in the trash, but we want to use it very sparingly so we can make it spread out.
This glitter left over on my mat.
So your art definitely goes on the drying rack, and the glitter gets dumped into the garbage.
To pour into the trash.